How does that sound?
Bro! Yeah! Who is KP? Waiting for the new earth. I'm a slave of the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah! I'm a nobody.
My name is KB. I'm a hip-hop artist with Reach Records.
Every atom and non-atomies, atomic, adamant, after what added I is against. Let me take you back to the tree and Eve. Never read it, you see the Eve was deceived, but Adam is the one who...
So KB, you're here in Tampa. You're already well known as part of HGA group. Like, who were they, and how did they start, and where have you gone since then?
Right. So basically, there was a group of brothers that I did life with. We would go out, evangelize, just getting the word together, worship together. I mean, we just lived together. And it seemed like it started off with like maybe 4 or 5 of us. And it just kind of got contagious, and before we knew it, we was doing Bible studies on Tuesday nights, and we had like 40 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. So, it kind of quickly just turned into this, almost something we couldn't even contain for a while. This fire that kind of turned into something. So, this was birthed by brothers that loved Jesus and wanted to know him more. It was authentic and just serious and organic, and it just grew into this sort of a semi-movement. So that's kind of what HGA was and is. So it's not really a rap group, it's just a clique of brothers and a few sisters as well that are just want to live their lives for His glory alone.
So from there, you're now a part of Reach Records. How did that come about?
Right. So I was down here doing my thing, being faithful to the Lord, and so I guess people were putting some of my stuff on YouTube. We were doing concerts everywhere they would have us for free. Sometimes the same place over and over again. They would just use us, just repeatedly. We were cool with that. And eventually doing like 3 or 4 shows a weekend for like a year period of time. Our stuff started to get out and on YouTube and stuff like that because we were making music. And so one of the videos we did was circulating among some of the people that were close with Reach, or either on Reach. I don't know exactly how it worked out, but somehow it landed in the lap of Lecrae and the owner of Reach Records, Ben Washer. And then they just began to kind of pursue after myself. I was kind of the leader of kind of everything that was going on down here, and one of the brothers kind of stuck out to them, and we began to build a relationship. I got invited to get on a project. And from that, after that project, I went on a small tour with Lecrae, and just got to have some one-on-one time with him. This real concentrated fellowship, and before I knew it, there's a paper in front of me, and now I'm signing Reach Records.
Cool. So then, what does that mean? Like, how does that change your life? How does that change who you are?
Right.
As an artist.
Yeah. So the thing that has happened differently is the platform has gotten bigger. Nothing has changed as far as what I'm doing. I'm developing more in my craft and character. I'm married now, so I'm in a different place in life than I was before when I got signed. So me as a person, I'm maturing, but the cause remain the same. It's just a bigger platform with a heavier responsibility because it's more people. I got to be more careful about things. But the call is consistently been the same since I became a believer, and that is to put forth the gospel of Jesus Christ. Put on display Jesus in hopes that people will see him and become followers there.
Right. So then, like, what project are you working on your own personal project, and when is that going to come out?
Right. So we just wrapped up the Man Up campaign. By the Lord's grace, I got to be the spokesperson for that. Actually, we're still doing it right now. We're finishing up the concert series. That just dropped a couple weeks ago. So it's actually called the Man Up album. That's what it's called. It's at Target or on iTunes and stuff like that. And that's my most recent project that I'm on with the rest of the guys. My solo project will be out early spring. I'm working on it as we speak. Excited about it, and we'll see what the Lord does with it.
Cool. So are you going to see Mr. Swift on that?
Probably.
Both of you are already married. KB is a younger married person, just getting married.
Right.
What are the struggles that you already have faced, and how do you overcome them?
Right. I think it's an embrace. One of the things about manhood, or at least being a man, is that you embrace your failure and you embrace how much of a man you're not.
Right.
And I think a good starting place, and I think repentance kind of hinges on this, is realizing that most of what you've been taught about marriage, relationships, dating, has not been taught to you by God. And a lot of stuff, the thoughts that you have in your mind that you think is the path that you ought to be going on, that you're going to need a lot of relearning and rejecting what you've always thought to be true. So what I found is that when I came to the Bible, I came to solid biblical counseling, biblical teachers and things like that, that I was being confronted with an option to either hold on to what I thought was the way to do things, or to go with how things ought to be done according to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And it's deeper in me than I thought. Like we all have they said we're all the hero of our own stories. We're always more holier than we think we are. I mean, we always think we're more holier than we actually are. We're constantly being, like, we lift ourselves up. There's a lot of coming down and realizing that you are a broken, needy individual. One of the things that have helped me, just kind of even bouncing off of what Swift was saying, that the intention of marriage is not your happiness. Now that is diametrically opposite to everything the world would say. They would say that when you get married because she makes you happy, he makes you happy. When you stop being happy, then you leave the marriage. That's a legitimate reason to them. That's not a legitimate reason to leave your wife in Scripture. It's not.
Holiness.
It's our holiness. Happiness is not the ultimate goal of your marriage, but holiness, the prime product of a marriage that is committed to Jesus, is your conformity into his image. A byproduct of that should be happiness. A byproduct of that should be the romanticism. But that stuff comes and goes. Sometimes you'll be absolutely unhappy. You know what I'm saying? But that should not be what you hinge your marriage on. You hinge your marriage on, I'm in covenant with this woman. I am committed to her, and I will stick this out, stay with her, and do with everything in my power to love her like Christ loved the church. And that is a heavy, heavy call. When Jesus was talking about it with his disciples in Matthew, I believe it's Matthew 18, he began to describe what marriage was. The disciples responded, well, if that's the issue, if that's how it is, nobody should get married. And Jesus responds, this is a gift. Like, this is something that you're called to. This isn't some whimsical, flimsy little commitment, you know. This isn't high school no more. You know what I'm saying? So, I would challenge people with that, and that's something that's really that's resonated through my life, and all of that. Really, what I'm talking about, this is all just gospel talk, and I can just say the gospel, knowing it and having it redefined everything that I thought has really saved my marriage even before it started, and it's saving it daily. So that's my encouragement and kind of rebuke. So everybody look forward.
So Davey, why should I believe in Jesus?
You should believe in Jesus because he commanded you to do so. And why is it that his commandments matter? Because he made you. He made you. He made you. He knows exactly how you work. He's wired you in a certain way that he can call you out on stuff. Like, for example, you have a conscience that testifies the wrong that you're doing. You constantly having to try to suppress it. Like, Jesus knows your ins and outs. He knows your hang-ups. He knows that you're not satisfied. He knows your need. And your need is that you need to be saved from the sin. You need to be saved from a holy God who is angry with that sin. And you need to come to him and find rest. You're heavy laden, you're burdened. Come to him and find rest. You need him. And anything that's in you that will be convincing you that you don't need him, that you can somehow get on without him, think about this, all right? You can't breathe apart from him. You can't even breathe. He made you, he owns you. But he's graciously extending to you his hand of salvation. Trust in Jesus and be saved.
Suffer will reign, homie, we live that. That's just not a cliche. That Christian life is not a piece of heaven on earth, but bless God, we get the piece of heaven on earth. Cause we know all things, even the hard things, work together to make us look more like our King.